Hey everyone, welcome to Models and Agents, episode 115 for July 18th, 2026. Your daily AI briefing. Let's see what happened in the AI world today. And trust me, it's been busy. Moonshot just dropped the largest open weight model yet at 2.8 trillion parameters, matching top closed systems on long horizon agentic benchmarks. This release continues the open weight models arc we tracked last week. It narrows the open versus closed performance gap on agentic tasks while raising new questions about commercial licensing terms. Moonshot AI released Kimi K3 with a 1 million token context window, native vision, and always-on reasoning mode. The model leads on BrowseComp at 91.2 and ranks second on AA-Briefcase behind only Claude Fable 5. Full weights land July 27th. Builders should test its single-agent long-horizon workflows immediately. Moonshot AI released Kimi K3, a 2.8 trillion parameter frontier model with a 1 million token context window, native visual understanding, and an always-on thinking mode. The model uses two internal architectural innovations, Kimi Delta Attention Hybrid Linear Attention and Attention Residuals. It is priced at $3 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens, with cached inputs at $0.30. On GDP Val-AA V2, it scored 1,687, third overall. On AA-Briefcase, it reached 1,527, second place. It set a new state-of-the-art on BrowseComp at 91.2 in a single-agent setup without context compression. The company also demonstrated 48-hour autonomous chip design and compressed multi-week astrophysics research into 2 hours. Full weights arrived July 27th. Watch for community fine-tunes and agent harness integrations. OpenAI announced GPT 5.6 Sol reached a new state-of-the-art in cybersecurity on the last one's cyber range. The model now powers codex security for finding, validating, and fixing real-world vulnerabilities. It is already integrated into the codex security plugin workflow. Mira Murati's Thinking Machines Lab released Inkling, an Apache 2.0 multimodal mixture of experts model with 975 billion total parameters and 41 billion active. It was trained on 45 trillion tokens of text, images, audio, and video. A smaller 276 billion total parameter variant with 12 billion active is in testing. It is positioned as a strong base for fine-tuning via the Tinker platform. Zifra released Zuna 1.1, a 380 million parameter masked diffusion autoencoder for scalp EEG under Apache 2.0. It accepts variable length inputs from 0.5 to 30 seconds while holding or improving normalized mean square error across arbitrary channel layouts. Sakana AI introduced Error Diffusion, a backpropagation-free training method for dual-stream excitatory and inhibitory networks that obey Dale's principle. The approach reached 96.7% on MNIST and 61.7% on CFAR10. It scales to reinforcement learning via modulo error routing. Capital One open-sourced Vuln Hunter, an agentic security tool that performs attacker-first forward analysis from APIs and file uploads. It then runs a falsification engine to discard false positives before surfacing findings with proposed fixes. It currently runs on Claude Opus 4.8 inside Claude Code and is released under Apache 2.0. The three-stage workflow was validated across thousands of internal repositories. This development advances the agents and tool use program we covered yesterday. It directly tests reliability of long-horizon security agents in production settings. Brex released CrabTrap, an open-source HTTP and HTTPS proxy that intercepts all agent network traffic. It uses an LLM as a judge only on the long tail, less than 3% of requests, plus deterministic rules to enforce policy. It is framework and API agnostic. Users simply set HTTP_proxy. The policy builder bootstraps from observed traffic and includes an eval system that replays thousands of requests in minutes. Google Cloud shipped the always-on memory agent, a reference implementation on Google ADK and Gemini 3.1 Flash Lite. It replaces vector databases and embeddings with continuous LLM-driven consolidation into SQLite. An orchestrator routes between ingest, consolidate, and query subagents that maintain structured memory 24/7 without retrieval-augmented generation. Intuit rebuilt its production agent system twice in 4 months. It moved from specialist agents to a central orchestrator and then to a skills and tools architecture after natural language handoffs caused compounding errors. The second rebuild took 60 days. Evaluations became the primary measurement mechanism, and a human handoff feature is now in 1% production testing. LinkedIn, Walmart, and Zendesk reported that legacy infrastructure, not models, is the primary bottleneck when moving agents to production. LinkedIn pre-provisions container pools and pushes large language models to the leaves of deterministic workflows. Walmart added governance to deduplicate citizen developer agents. Zendesk emphasized investing in data pipelines over simply handing 20 billion conversations to large context windows. Simon Willison highlighted ongoing regressions in Claude code on the web that block cloning public GitHub repos into temporary directories from existing sessions. He is requesting an automated test suite to prevent future breakage of this core functionality. Pewter compiled Firefox to WebAssembly so the full browser runs inside another browser. All traffic is proxied over WebSocket using the WISP protocol. The project used roughly $25,000 of Claude Opus and Fable tokens under a max subscription and supports end-to-end encryption. XAI open-sourced the entire Grok build codebase, 844,000 lines of Rust, under Apache 2.0. The repo includes the main system prompt, sub-agent prompt, a self-contained Mermaid terminal renderer, and tool implementations ported from Codex and OpenCode. Cars24 uses OpenAI-powered voice and chat agents to handle over 1 million monthly conversation minutes. The agents recover 12% of lost leads and extend agentic workflows across internal teams. Test Kimi K3 on long-horizon information-seeking tasks using its 1 million token context window directly instead of multi-agent workarounds. Deploy Vuln Hunter on a non-production codebase to see the attacker-first forward analysis plus falsification engine in action. Point Crabtrap at an existing agent harness and let it bootstrap policy from a few days of real traffic. Run the always-on memory agent reference implementation on a small persistent task to compare continuous consolidation against traditional retrieval augmented generation. Kimi K3 full waits are scheduled for July 27th. Intuit plans to scale its human-in-the-loop handoff feature beyond the current 1% of customers in the coming weeks. Brex is accepting community contributions to Crabtrap for single sign-on, role-based access control, and escalation workflows. Okay, let's pop the hood on agent identity. Everyone treats agent identity as a simple give each agent its own key checkbox. In practice, it is a 3-layer enforcement problem that most production systems still solve with borrowed human or service account credentials. The first layer is issuance, creating a scoped, revocable identity at agent spawn time instead of reusing a shared API key. The second layer is runtime mediation. Every outbound call must carry that identity so policy engines can evaluate it before the request reaches the target API. The third layer is attribution, logging which identity performed which action so post-incident forensics can isolate the blast radius. When these layers are missing, a single compromised agent can act with the full permissions of every other agent sharing its credential. That pattern appears in 69% of surveyed enterprises. The practical trade-off is latency versus safety. Adding a network proxy or sidecar for identity enforcement adds measurable overhead, but collapses the blast radius from entire fleet to single agent. Most teams discover the gap only after the first incident. The fix that actually moves the needle is treating non-human identity as infrastructure rather than an application-level afterthought. So when should you actually reach for this versus the alternative? Tomorrow, keep an eye on community fine-tunes and agent harness integrations for Kimi K3 ahead of the July 27th weight release. That's models and agents for today. If you found this useful, share it with someone who's trying to keep up with all these changes and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's update. The AI world moves fast. We'll help you keep up. See you tomorrow, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nara Network. Links in the show notes. And before you go, this show is part of the Nara Network, a family of daily podcasts on tech, science, and markets, each one a short, sharp briefing you can finish on the commute. If today earned its place in your feed, here's your next listen. Environmental Intelligence, the Environment and Climate Policy Brief for Canada. Find every show free at neranetwork.com. The age of AI puts real builders on the phone with an AI host. Apply at neranetwork.com/age-of-AI apply. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.